أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Viewers, you're welcome to the program Our Pledge. On this program, we bring you deeper insights into the conditions of initiation into Islam Ahmadiyya, the true Islam. Last week on the program, we looked at the seventh condition, which was for man or an initiate into the fold of Islam Ahmadiyya to entirely give up pride and in all his life be humble, cheerful, forbearance, and meekness. We are glad to be joined today on the program by Mr. Abdul Samad Isa, the Circuit President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Achimota Circuit here in Accra. Mr. Isa was the former Naib Sadal Vice President of the Youth Wing of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Majlis Khudamul Ahmadiyya, Ghana. Mr. Isa, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Today we are going to talk on the eighth condition of initiation into Islam Ahmadiyya. What is the eighth condition?
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. The eighth condition of Bai'at, as stipulated by Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam, says that the initiate, that is, he or she, shall hold faith, the honor of faith, and the cause of Islam dearer to him or her than his or her life, his or her wealth, his or her honor, his or her children, and all other dear ones. Briefly, this is what the eighth condition of the Bai'at has stated.
That man must be faithful to God.
Yeah. You must hold faith and the honor of faith and the cause of Islam dearer to you than your wealth, than your life, than your honor, than your children, and anything that is dearer to you. That is to say that the love of one's religion, the worship of one, of your religion, should be foremost at all times in your life. One should not let any of these. That means because your honor is at stake, because a child might not be happy, or because you need to do something in favor of your child, you prefer that, or because other things are dearer to you, you put them before the love of your faith. Precisely, that is what this
Today in our world,
Bai'at condition is calling us.
In our world today, man is craving for wealth, fame, what not, children, what not in society. Why should Ahmadis try to put Allah before anything?
Why should one put the worship of your Creator before anything? Is that one will have to look at yourself. Who has created you to? You ask yourself. That is Allah. And why has Allah created you? Allah says in the Holy Quran that He has created man and the jinn for nothing than that you should worship him. So there should not be any circumstances in your life that will call on you to put something before your worship of Allah. No matter how much dearer that other thing is to your life, you should be able to put it aside once you are faced between matters pertaining to worship. Once you are faced with matters that pertains to the forward march of Islam, Ahmadiyya, you should be able to analyze at any particular point in your life whether your doing is for Allah or it is for man. You should be able to differentiate between worship of Allah and love for the world. We have not been forbidden in any way. Nobody as a Muslim, or for that matter, particular matter, an Ahmadi Muslim has been forbidden to look for the good things of life. Nobody is forbidden. The Quran says that the good things of this life are first and foremost for the Muslims. So we are to do anything in our lives. If it comes to education, if it comes to work, we cannot fold our hands and sit down that we are solely going to sit down as if we are people who are in a hermit somewhere doing nothing other than that. The Quran also tells us that we have two duties. That is our duties to Allah and our duties to man. And sometimes there is an intersection of these duties. Certain duties that you might solely see to be for man could in a way be part of your worship. So one cannot say in my life, I will only pray, I will not work, I will only fast. When it is time for me to go for a Hajj and I have the ability, I will go for Hajj. These are the only things I will do in my life. That will not augur well for your spiritual progress, because man in himself, you are also indebted to man. You have certain things that you have to do in favor of man after your worship of Allah. But this particular one is telling us that as we continue to engage in our worldly endeavors, we should not let these ones overshadow. We should not put them in the forefront. We should not them displace our ability to worship our Creator. When the two things come together, we should give precedence to our worship of Allah. And in doing this, there are times that your honor is at stake. There are times that your honor as a human being is at stake. Let's say that you have a very good friend of yours. This your friend has been engaged in something, and the issue has become, let's say, a matter whereby investigations are being made. Here you have your friend. Here you have the knowledge of what your friend has done. And the Quran has called on you that you must always speak the truth, when even the truth is against you yourself. Are you going to honor so much your friendship to your friend, so much so that whatever you are going to testify, if it will go against your friend, you decide to twist it, or you decide to be economical with the truth. So that means that you are giving preference, right, to the relationship that you have. You honor that relationship you have with your friend than the honor of truth. So that is one of the cases. Then it mentions your...
Before you continue, you talked about giving precedence of one thing over the other.
Yes.
If you are a doctor and you have an emergency and it's time for prayers, because of your belief or because of the initiation you have taken, should you leave the sick person or the emergency and go to prayers? What do you have to do?
Yes, this is very good question, in that it has called on you, like you are saying, to do something instead of your salat. You see, Islam is a very easy religion. And Islam do not give us situations where things become too difficult for us. When I started, you heard me mention that we have duties to Allah and we have duties to man. Here is a case: you are a doctor. At the time that the azan is called for prayer, a man is in a very dire condition and you need to attend to him. That attendance at that period constitute part of your worship. And we know that when we miss the right time for salat, we will be able to pay back. So in this condition of yours, you need to attend to this your patient who needs your help than to leave that patient and go for salat. Let me tell you, any good doctor worth his kind will even go to the salat. As he stands in the line for salat, his mind will never leave that sick man who he left in the theater or in the emergency room to go for the salat. So in that case, you need to attend to your patient than to say that you are going to pray. But when we talk of other cases where you have something that is not in this situation, maybe you are somebody who likes football a lot. You are about, the azan has been called, and if the referee has blown his whistle for a match between your team,
let's say Kotoko and
Hearts, what are you going to do? You have to know that in this case, you don't lose a life. It is just a decision of your pleasure, right? That means that at that time, you are called upon to choose between God, the worship of God. And remember, we are cautioned in the Holy Quran about praying at the appropriate time, the appointed times. So in this case, you are bound to leave that your football match and go for your salat. So the other case of a patient is a different case altogether, because somebody is about to die and you are the one who should attend to him. And Allah has given you that knowledge of being a doctor to be able to save lives.
So here, if you are in, let's say, in the middle of a game, in a draft or warrior or any other, and the azan is called, you are almost about to finish. Do you have to stop, go and come? What do you have to do?
What do you have to do? A very good question. In the first place, the awari or the draft that you are playing, what is the benefit in the first place? What do you actually get from it? It is just the pleasure of your life. You just whiling away time. You are just engage in a vain thing just for your personal pleasure. So immediately one is doing such things and they call the azan. It is not a matter of whether the game is in the middle or whether the game has started. At that time, it is a decision between the worship of your Creator and the worship of the
your
Almighty.
pleasure.
That is why sometimes we are told that even to lie becomes an idol in our life. So at that particular time, you are so much engrossed in watching the football match or playing Ludi or playing Oware that has become an idol for you because you have refused to worship your Creator when the azan has been called and you are engaged in the worship of
the game. So this particular initiation is about you, the initiates, selling yourself to the Almighty Allah.
Completely. And when somebody is sold, when we say somebody has sold himself, it means you no longer have your way. When you buy something, it becomes yours.
Yes.
And you do whatever you want with that article. So when a man says that you have sold yourself to Allah, it means you have wholly become Allah's article. And whatever Allah needs from you is what you are prepared to do. Whatever sacrifice that you are called upon, in this case, let's talk of your wealth, which is very dear to you. And Islam Ahmadiyya needs a clinic or a hospital to take care of the needy. You should be able to go into that wealth of yours and give something out in favor of the Jamaat. So in that case, you are giving precedence to your religion than your wealth. If you give precedence to your wealth, you continue to cover it whilst your Jamaat needs the money. So that is why it says that you have to ensure that your religion is dearer to you than your life and your wealth. If we take our mind to the past, you can see that Muslims at the time of the Holy Prophet gave the ultimate sacrifice, which was this, that they had to go to battlegrounds. And the resources that were used to get preparation for these battlegrounds were from them. So look at it. They have sacrificed their wealth. And after sacrificing their wealth, they have to sacrifice
their
lives. And this is what every Ahmadi would need to learn. If you look at the life of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih the First, Radiallahu anhu, he was so obedient to Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam. So he gave so much honor to religion because at that time, Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam had come to reform Islam and people needed to make sacrifice in the cause of Islam. Hazrat Maulana Nuruddin, Hakim Nuruddin, did this to the latter. And one time, he told Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam that any time his Jamaat, that is Jamaat Ahmadiyya, is in need of prime human blood, he, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Awal, was ready and prepared. If Ahmadiyya stands in need of human blood, so this is a very, very classic example of somebody who had sacrificed everything. You know, he was a very successful doctor.
Yes.
And when he did Bai'at in the hands of Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam, he left a great deal of his wealth in his hometown. And that was the end of the matter. These are the sacrifices we are called on today to say in a lesser way. Because today, our lives are not in danger. Maybe places like Pakistan and Indonesia, Ahmadis are still sacrificing their lives.
Yes.
And sometimes when you think of it, you need to pray and then see the amount of sacrifice that these our brothers in Pakistan are making in the cause of the Jamaat. Because you don't see them reneging from their religion. Bombs are thrown in their mosques. Over 98 or so people dies. The following week, the same mosque is full with people. That means that they have seen that their worship, their faith, the honor of their faith is higher than their lives. And when we are called upon to sacrifice our wealth, we should look at those who are doing both. They are sacrificing both their life
and their
wealth. We
are to do one.
Are to do one. That is our
and we are
wealth.
even finding it difficult to do so.
Yes. So that is where we need to be reflecting on these conditions time and time again and see our level. We measure ourselves whether we are able to imbibe these conditions in our life.
Mr. Issa, this condition, the eighth condition, the promised Messiah has stated that the means of salvation from sin are certainty of faith. Can you please explain this to the understanding of our viewers?
When one aren't certain of your faith, when you are not very certain of your faith, one will find it very, very difficult to sacrifice anything in favor of that faith. Certainty of faith is a point in one's life when you begin to imbibe in yourself total obedience to Allah, where you know that whether you sleep and you are able to wake up is all in the hands of Allah. Whether when you wake up in the morning, whether evening will arrive whilst you are still alive is all in the hands of Allah. And you know, he says that no man in his life, knowing very well, right, that there is poison in honey or milk, which we all love, you will still take it into your body. And he also says that if you are very certain that a snake has gone into a hole, no man will be able to have this certainty of knowledge and still what? Put your hand
in the hole.
In the hole. If as we sit here, we leave this room and we all, with our own eyes, see a lion or a tiger break through the door and comes in here, and they ask any of these our cameramen to come in here for a program, I don't think any of us or any of them will be ready to do that.
Certainly not.
Certainly not, because they are very certain, right, that if they go in there, their life will be in danger or they will lose their life. So when Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam says that the means of salvation from sin is certainty of faith, right? If you have faith in Allah and you know Allah exists, it will be very difficult going against the teachings of Allah. If you have certainty that all that you are living with, the good health, the wealth that you have, all these things are given to you by Allah, and your life can easily be taken by Him at any point He desires, you will be very, very careful going against what Allah has stipulated. Even in our daily lives, nobody, Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam in one of his books has mentioned it. I cannot remember what book in particular. He says that you cannot see anybody, any criminal, who in the vicinity of police and security people start committing a crime.
Yes.
Because he is very certain that if he commits the crime, the laws will
deal with him.
Is it because he has seen?
Yes.
So what he is saying is that if we arrive at the true knowledge that Allah exists and Allah is our creator and Allah is all powerful, He can take your life out just within a second. How? Like the criminal who knows that the police or the law enforcing agencies are around, will not dare to go and commit a crime. If we have this certainty that our God, our Allah, is all-knowing, He is all-seeing,
and
all-powerful, whether in the day or in the night, whether on the streets of our town or in the corner of our room, He, Allah, sees whatever we do. How will you be able to commit sin with this certainty of knowledge about your Creator?
Mr. Isafane, before we go, how can an initiate ensure that this condition is met?
The initiate, as we have ended, should be able to know who is his Creator. What are the attributes of his Creator? You know, when one knows something and knows its attributes, its beauty, one is more inclined and more closer and more loving of that entity. Right. So we should not, an initiate should not behave like a child. You know, if you know the value of gold, and if you take gold, let's say 20 karat gold, and you get a kid, a toy, a toy car, and you give the two to the kid, which one do you think the kid will take? The kid will definitely go for the toy.
Yes.
It is because he lacks the knowledge and the value of the gold. So every initiate, and even those of us who are already, should in our daily life do all we can as Hazrat Alifatul Masih calls on us, to read the Quran. If we read the Quran and we look into the teachings of the Quran and we look into the attributes of our Allah, then we will be able to build true faith in our God. When we have certainty of faith in our God, it will be very difficult for us to do anything that is anti-God, that is ungodly. And that will be where we will be treading on the right path.
Thank you so much, viewers. This is all time will allow us for today. I was joined on the program by Mr. Abdul Samad Issa, Circuit President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Achimota Circuit here in Accra. He was also the former Vice President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Youth Wing, Majlis Hudamu Ahmadiyya, Ghana. Mr. Issa, we thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
This has been me, Abdul Hamid Amponsa. Till we meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Kamantung kabatuhi na venkumoye. Amantung kabatuhi na venkumo. Amantung kabatuhi na venkumo. Nana.